What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about some key things that wide receivers need to do if they want to play wide receiver at the next level. So we're mainly going to be focusing on film study and how you guys should be approaching the game from a football IQ standpoint. So I hope this video helps you guys out, but also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to learn how you guys can read defenses, how you guys can read DBs, know what you guys should do when it comes to your releases, your moves at the top of the route based on a coverage, check out that very first link in the description below for a 40-minute long video on how wide receivers can read defenses. We break down every single defensive coverage, how you guys can look at it from a wide receiver perspective, and how you guys can ultimately use your routes to attack that coverage. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. Let's get started with this video. So now, first things first here, we're looking at inside leverage press, right? So we're going to play this clip full speed. This is Deebo Samuel working this route at the Senior Bowl when he was in college. So we're going to talk about, obviously, throw was overthrown a little bit, but I want to talk about the pre-snap look and how you can prepare as a wide receiver for this. So when you guys are trying, there are a million different things that we go over on this channel in terms of moves, in terms of press releases. Maybe you're fairly new to this channel and you don't necessarily know what all of those are, and that's totally fine. You got to understand how to attack specific looks from a DB and know what that means for you on your route. So when it comes to press coverage, if you're watching a team on film, you need to go into that game with a game plan. You need to know, okay, this guy comes out inside shade press whenever offense is in X situation, whenever offense is in this situation. That's what you need to understand. Now, maybe he comes out in outside shade press in other situations. Maybe more often than not, he's inside shade. But those looks that he gives you constantly, time and time again, you need to have plans of action and how to attack it. So if you guys are playing a team, and let's say it's a talented DB, and let's say he loves to play inside shade press, if you want to know, if you want success with your releases, with your moves, you have to know going into the game what he's going to do. So if we got inside shade press and I have to run any kind of route, when it's press coverage, I feel like it's fairly simple because it's all about attacking his leverage. Whether he's inside leverage or whether he's outside leverage or whether he is head up, you always want to attack and try to make uncomfortable. So it's the same thing for any kind of route. Like, let's say, for example, it's a fade route, like what we worked. What you would want to do is you would want to threaten this DB to the inside. You have to understand why he is playing a certain leverage. So we see a DB on film that he's inside leverage. We know time and time again, he does not want to give up the inside. He does not want to give up the slant, the post, the dig. So he's going to do whatever possible to protect the inside. So with my release, that's where I want to attack. I want to come off the line. I want to attack him to the inside and try to threaten him like I'm moving, like I'm actually running the slant, because that is what will get him to either sit, stop his feet, or maybe even jump to the inside. And that gives me more space to the outside. Now, you might say, okay, well, that's easy to do, especially when it's a fade route, especially when you're running like a comeback, an out route, a corner. But what if you have to run a route like a post and you have this inside shade press look? You would do the same damn thing. That's the thing that you guys have to understand. It's not that complicated. In terms of concepts, it is not that complicated. There are a bunch of different releases you could use, a bunch of different moves that you might be more comfortable with than others. But it's based on where he is lined up. So he's inside shade. I got to go run this post route. I would do the same damn thing. I'm not going to be able to take the inside release. He will not give it to me. If I force the inside release, he's going to get hands on me and reroute me all the way over the middle of the field. So you have to understand that. You have to understand that you're going to end up taking what he gives you, and the top of the route is where you win. So I would do the exact same thing if I had to run a post. You'd attack his leverage, threaten him to the inside, take the outside release. You could either get skinny and restack to where he is trailing your back hip, or if he's hip to hip with you, you would take this left hand and swat him by on his shoulder or on his hip. And that goes for any kind of inside breaking route that's past 5 yards. You would want to restack, take what he gives you, and work that at the top of the break. Top of the break is where we get separation, and you got to understand that. So as a receiver, how does this apply to me? Why are we talking about this? How does this help you get to that next level? Because if you guys want to showcase the moves that you can do, the separation that you can create, you have to know this going into the game. You should know. I'll give you a little insight on what coaches do. If you're a high school player, youth player, your coaches spend, maybe not youth, let's say high school. High school player, your coaches spend hours over the weekend watching film, and they are looking at tendencies. What does that defense like to come out in, and how often do they come out in it? And you should be doing the exact same thing as a receiver. How often does this DB go inside shade press? Okay, what are some of the releases I can use against inside shade press? I have this in my tool belt. I have that in my tool belt. I like this release. I'm comfortable with this. Okay, let's roll. And that's how you guys should structure your plan. It's not complicated, fellas. We cannot just walk up to the line and play as we go and expect to have success and expect to stand out and be a fluid route runner, which is what college coaches look for. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Samuel attacking his leverage inside and being able to get that extra step on him. Just got to get that ball from that QB. All right, so now, what if we see a lot of this coverage? Because I know you guys love to see this coverage, especially you high school and younger kids. DBs will bail and they go to zone coverage more often than they go press. So we talk a lot about press releases. We talk a lot about getting off the jam. How do you actually attack zone coverage and when you know when to expect it? So let's say, for example, you're playing a team and they come out in zone coverage like 85% of the time. That is actually a pretty realistic number for most high school teams. The guy will play 7 to 8 yards off, wants no part of the press, and he is off. So you have to understand it is the exact same thing. It is about understanding his leverage and what he's trying to accomplish with his coverage so I can structure my route accordingly. So this is A.J. Brown going to be running a post route here. So this DB's outside leverage, he kind of was in this like press bail. He shows press and then he bails out of there. And he's outside leverage. So this would be no different if he started 7 to 8 yards off and was in this look. So let's play at full speed. He bails out of there. Brown does a great job attacking blind spot and then creating separation on that post. So let's talk about it. It's no different than what we had with press. It's just it happens a little bit further downfield. So he's outside shade. How we know it's zone is because his eyes are inside. He's either trying to see what the number 2 receiver does or he's trying to read that QB. Fine by me. That's fine. That does not matter in terms of what I do because he still has a leverage and I still know how to attack that leverage. So he's outside leverage. What does that usually mean? Where is he trying to force me? Because the last example, the DB was inside shade. So what was he trying to take away? He wanted to take away the slant. So now this guy's outside shade. So what do you think he's trying to take away? Trying to take away the fade, trying to take the out route. He's trying to force everything where? Inside. Because he probably has help to the inside. So he's got a safety there, a linebacker dropping into like coverage, whatever it might be. But he wants everything going to the inside. Don't give up anything outside because you don't have any help there. So as a wide receiver, I got to know that. I got to know that, okay, he's not going to give up the outside. So if I have an outside breaking route, I obviously can't just try to run around him and force it to the outside. But if I have an inside breaking route, I want to try to threaten him to where he doesn't want me to go. Creates me a bigger window. So that's what A.J. Brown does. He comes up off the line, sees that this guy bails. Okay, fine. I'm going to attack his blind spot. You see how he gives him that little like almost rocker step cut. He gives this 1-2 to the blind spot, gets that DB to widen a little bit, and guess what? Now he's off of his hip. He's got a bigger window, and that QB could fit it in there. So now you might ask, well, Coach, why does this matter? If he's outside shade and I'm running a post, I could just go run the route. I could just go take off and run the post. But like we said, why is he outside shade? Trying to funnel you inside to safety help. So if you just go take off and run it, he's going to be right on your hip pocket, and that safety is going to be right there. Tiny window for the QB. So you create more space for him with your stem. So again, why is this important? Why do I need to know this stuff? Why are we even going over this? Because when you guys see this look on film, to get separation, to create bigger plays for yourself, to give yourself more opportunities in the passing game, you have to know how to structure your routes, fellas. Against zone, it is not just about running to open space. It is about your stem. It is about blind spot. It's about picking a shoulder and attacking that. But it's all based on the DB's leverage. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time, then we will look at an off-man coverage look and how you guys can run a post route versus inside shade off-man coverage. Okay, so now, inside shade. This is again, could be treated like zone, but he's still inside shade. Now, this is man because he's looking at the wide receiver and he's in like a squared up stance. The last example is hips and shoulders are pointed towards the quarterback. This one, hips and shoulders are squared up and his eyes are on me. Those are two tells that it is man. So he is going to be running a post route here. So against inside shade, but he's off. So let's play this thing full speed. So he comes off, goes right at the outside shoulder, breaks this thing off, and then is able to win on that post route and got that DB to flip his hips. That is textbook to what you want to do here. So now let's think about this. When we went over that very first example, what coverage was that? That was press coverage inside shade. So he's pressed up inside shade. What would we do if I had to run a post route? You would attack his leverage, take the outside release, and try to restack. Where you're here and he's trailing you, you break off on the post. Now, if he's inside shade off and he's sitting at that break point, I can't just attack his leverage and then break in front of him. Why? Why do you think I can't do that? Because that's what he's trying to prevent you from doing. He's trying to prevent you from running a post. He will not let you do that. You go attack his leverage, he's going to keep his leverage to the inside. So you're going to end up running right into him. Just like on the line of scrimmage, when it's press, if you try to just attack him and then take the inside release, he's going to get hands and squeeze you all the way over the middle of the field. You have to keep spacing. You have to keep timing with the QB. So what Amari Cooper does a great job of here is he attacks the outside shoulder, right? Selling vertical, hips and shoulders, running hard, running in full stride to get him to flip. So bam, I put the brakes on and I could slip underneath. We kept spacing, but also we were able to get separation. Now, again, why is it important? Why do I need to know this? Because, fellas, it's all about understanding a DB's leverage. When you're watching film, I don't care if he comes out in press man. I don't care if he's in off man. I don't care if he's in zone 15 yards away, doesn't want any part of you. You understand his leverage because you understand what he's trying to accomplish. And when you know what he's trying to accomplish with his coverage, what he doesn't want you to do, that is how you can set up your routes and be successful. Fellas, it is calculated. If you're not that receiver who's that guy who's just got blazing speed and can just run past people in high school, college, you will not last. If you don't have technique, if you don't have route running, and you don't know how to play the position. It's more than just running a route. It's more than just catching a ball. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. So, fellas, if you want to play at the next level, you have to make sure that we prepare like a pro and we know what a DB's leverage is trying to do so we can make a calculated decision on our route to create space. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you would like a 40-minute long video on how you can read defense as a wide receiver, we go over every single coverage, how you guys can watch film, how you guys can structure your routes. Check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.